Don't befriend your work colleagues, or at least be very, very careful about who you trust. Now, a lot of you might have had a different experience to me entirely, and that's okay, but I just want to share my own experience on some of these things, because I know for a fact 110% there are so many people out there going through the same thing. Out of all the years I've worked at a 9-to-5 job, which by the way, I've absolutely hated, and I know for a fact there are many of you listening to this right now that are in the same boat as me, hating your 9-to-5 job, being surrounded around people that, by the way, you would not hang around with outside of work, but you are doing so because you physically have to work with them to pay the bills. The problem starts when you trust one wrong person in the workplace. So, for example, you could upgrade someone from your average work colleague to your friend outside of work because you truly believe that they care about you as a person, they care about how you're doing, they care about all of your hobbies. Well, let me tell you, you've already kind of dug a deeper hole for yourself, because that's not the case at all. Sometimes you might even question it yourself, especially when you're talking with this person, and let's say they might give you the wrong impression. You might be questioning, actually, does this person care? But because you have to work with them, because you want to make your work life easier, you will literally teach your brain into thinking, yes, this person truly cares about me, and you'll just keep digging a deeper hole, and actually, you're affecting yourself mentally. Like, for crying out loud, do you not think you have enough stress on your plate, working a job that you hate, making someone else's dream a reality and not your own, spending time with people that you don't want to spend time with, that tires you out. You get home from work and you don't want to do anything with your evening. You don't want to come home, you don't want to work on your hobbies, you just sit there watching Netflix or doom scrolling. And yeah, I mean, you might even go out, to parties on the weekend with these quote-unquote work friends, I like to call them, even though, they're not necessarily your friends. Because here's the thing, the chances are that quote-unquote friend that you've got from your work, who you get on with really well, every little story you tell them about your life, everyone in the workplace will soon know about it. And it might not be the case with all of your friends. You actually might have one odd good one. I know a lot of people who, have still been in friendships, from people at work before. It is possible, but the 99.5% of people, the far majority of people that you kind of speak to at work, in my opinion, you shouldn't trust them. For example, in my previous job, I did not tell anyone, absolutely anyone, what I do as a hobby, which obviously, as you guys know, it's YouTube. I did not tell a single person in that workplace. In fact, I remember having a conversation with someone at the workplace. They asked me, what are my hobbies? What do I do in my spare time? And I remember having to just make up this spiel about how I love reading books. I don't read a lot of books at all. How I love listening to music, which yes, is true, but my main hobby is YouTube. And the fact that I had to make up this entire list of hobbies that I do without including my actual hobbies, like YouTube or gaming or whatever, then it was, to me, that was quite funny. But I did that to save myself some slack. And that was very early on. I was technically classed as a new starter at that point still. And although, yeah, this person was, vibing well with me and I seemed to get on well with them, I still didn't trust them to that extent. And I am so glad and thankful that I did that. Because let me tell you something, and this is honestly the truth, this is a true story. After my 3rd week of being there, that person changed. I'm not sure what it was. I went to work one day, they did not want to know a single thing. I didn't say anything to them, I didn't do anything to upset them. They literally just changed. And you could tell that this was completely different to this person just having one casual bad day, because we do all have bad days. But this was different. And not just because the first day, they changed, but it got to like a week of them starting to distance themselves from me or not really talk to me. And then what I noticed was the more people I spoke to, they were getting to know certain parts of information that I weren't telling them, but they were being told from that member of staff. So at that point, me having known that, and I already kind of knew it would happen anyway, I was so thankful that when they asked me, what are your hobbies, I did not actually give them the full story, because if so, Like, here's another example, right? I just want to share this with you because when I was in school, let's say, right, I was doing YouTube way back in school, and I remember getting my friends, quote unquote friends, let's say, involved in YouTube. They knew my channel, they knew exactly what content I made, but they were the reason that I quit YouTube for at least 2 years. Yeah, fun fact, I started YouTube and I quit YouTube while I was in school for 2 years. I pushed aside my hobby because the people I thought that were friends to me put me down that much. I decided, you know what, maybe they are right. And boom, just like that, you've been sold a lie and you've pushed aside something you truly enjoy to conform to, the job's requirements, or people at work, like, oh, if I don't impress them, they're not going to be friends with me anymore. They don't care about you. I was that person in the workplace that when they had a team party or a team meal or, somewhere around Christmas, they'd all get together and celebrate together. I didn't go to them. Not one event. I did not go to a single staff team meeting event whatsoever. And they constantly asked me why that was. And I just said, quite frankly, I'm not interested. Now, the problem is, when you start a new job, you might be, sociable. You might talk to anyone, or you might be a shy person, and it takes you a week to get to know people. Regardless of who you are, you could be the most outspoken person. This could still happen to you. And I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea why. I have no idea why a lot of these people turned out the way they did, because in my previous job, it wasn't just that one colleague. It slowly became the entire team. I genuinely did not feel a part of the team whatsoever, and it got to the point where I could literally trust none of them. I feel like the workplace is such a dog-eat-dog environment. Like, it depends where you work, obviously, you might enjoy your job, but a lot of the environments, particularly the last one I was in, was such a toxic environment. Like, you couldn't say anything, really, without feeling threatened by the person you thought you could trust, and actually they're against you. Now, again, I'm not sure why the reason they are against you. I'm not sure why these people turn the way they do. My only guess is because, you're in the workplace and they might have been there longer than you. They can do anything in their power to turn on you the moment they get close with the manager, right? We all know that person. They're doing really well at work. They've been there 3 years longer than you. The manager, right, really appreciates what they're doing. And as soon as they know that the manager are on their back and they're appreciating them for everything they do at the workplace, they decide to turn the back away from you and get closer to the manager and start brown-nosing the manager. And guess what? You can't trust the manager either. You can't trust your friend, quote-unquote friend. You can't trust the manager. You can't trust the team leader. It gets to the point where you can't trust anyone anymore because you might be the new starter, or you might have been, there a year less than what the other person has been there for. And they're completely bowing down to the manager to the point where they're willing to jeopardize that friendship that you thought you had, to get a promotion. It's that corporate approach of like dog eat dog. You have to do everything they say. Even if they said, don't talk to that person anymore, they will literally not speak with you because the manager's told them to. Like, obviously, we all know that in this world, that is usually illegal, but let's not pretend that that is not happening in the workplace. It got to the point where, like, if I didn't agree with them, they would bully me for it, and I had to go to school every single day and put up with those people. So I took the easy route, and I quit what I enjoyed. It's the same with a workplace, right? You might tell someone about your YouTube. Before you know it, that person is no longer your friend, but they know your YouTube channel name, they're spreading it across the entirety of the workplace, and then before you know it, everyone else you work with, including that quote-unquote friend you thought you had, now knows about your entire YouTube channel, and before you know it, you're in a workplace that are constantly making the fun of you, and all you're trying to do is just make money, pay your bills, and go home. But the fact that there are so many places out there with this work environment of everyone grouping up against you or making fake friends to find out some information about your life, it's just laughable to me. Like, for me, personal life and work life are two entirely different things. It took me a really dangerously long time for me to learn that, and I learned that in the hard way as well. I just wanted to make this video. I know it's something I don't usually do, but I had this on my mind quite a lot. Sometimes you've just got to step back and think, right, who do I want in my circle? And let me tell you, the chances are it is not the people you work with or go to school with. Let me let you into a fun fact, right? Pretty much all of the friends I had when I was in school, I am not friends with them anymore. I don't speak to any of them. Not one. Now, it might be different for you. Again, it's different for everyone. It's the same for the workplace. Out of all the jobs I've worked, I don't think I have one good friend that I speak to anymore. Yes, I know them and, I get along with them, but they're not my friends. I don't trust them with my day-to-day life. I don't tell them that, yeah, I do YouTube or I enjoy doing this, because it falls back on you. Now, again, everyone's different. I know many people who still have friends from work and it's actually worked out for them. So it is possible, but my advice to you is just be very careful about who you actually trust, because the second you fall into that pit of dishonesty is the second you push everything back that you care about. And my question to you is, what's more important in life? And let me tell you, it's what matters to you, like family, your hobbies, everything like that. Like, I've had many fake friends in the past, and I deeply regret my entire time trusting any of them. I want you to go back, I want you to listen to this video and truly think about your inner circle right now. Like, are all your friends actually real friends? And I know it sounds quite deep to talk about or even think about, but just ask yourself that question. When was there a time when your friend, for instance, didn't give off the same vibe you thought they always would? Just honestly, go back and ask yourself. And don't be afraid to make sacrifices. Because look, if I didn't make sacrifices, I wouldn't be here making this video. I quit YouTube for 2 years, and here I am doing it again. And why am I doing it again? Because I made the sacrifice to get rid of those people out of my life. And yes, it might sometimes feel quiet. It might sometimes feel lonely. But you know what? Your inner peace is the only one that matters here. And don't let your fake workplace friendship colleagues or school friends mess that up for you. Inner peace, family, hobbies, it's the only thing that should be important. Now, obviously, jobs are important as well. But if you can work, something on the side to get yourself out of an environment around people that you wouldn't even hang out with outside of work, then you're onto a winner. And look, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Spotify, I truly wish you all the best. Like, honestly, I'm going to stop rambling. This is very different to what I usually do, so I hope you guys didn't mind me kind of going on this tangent. I just needed to get it off my chest, and I know a lot of people are going through it right now. So I really hope this video did help you out. If you enjoyed it, then make sure you give it a like, click subscribe, and share it with your friends. If you're listening to this on Spotify right now, it would really mean the world to me if you could give this podcast a quick follow and a review of your choice. It really helps out a lot, whether you're traveling in the car or literally just mixing household chores. Your support would really mean the world to me. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, I have some videos on the screen right now. Make sure you click those, because I guarantee those ones will help you out as well, and I'll see you all over there.